Good morning. Welcome back to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. With me, my good friend and special guest, Dr. Friday with Dr. Friday's Tax and Financial Services Firm, one of those.
That's all right.
I'm doing it again.
You're going to rename it no matter what I do. Too many years of calling it whatever
Firm
you
Services.
That's
Services Firm.
Yeah,
I don't know. One of those. But she does taxes.
Exactly.
And she does them well. And she's an enrolled agent, so she can help you if you get into trouble with the IRS as well. We're going to talk about not being in trouble just for starters.
Yes.
Oh, and before I forget, one of the things, Dr. Friday's got some tax seminars coming up. We're going to get you some information on those. But I want to deal with the sequence of returns.
Let's go for it.
Decisions. All right, I mentioned about the Tony Robbins thing. Let me do that, and then we'll come over and we'll tell you how you can get out to see Dr. Friday. And in doing so, you're going to be covering a lot of topics, and we'll get some of that up on the screen for you here in a little bit. All right, so one of the things was in this book, I cover something in my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom and Retirement. One of the things I talk about is if you had retired in the middle, heading into a bear market, and I use as an example the decade from 2000 through 2009. So from 2000, 2001, 2002, the market dropped about 44–45% over that 3-year period. Okay, now imagine you're going into retirement then. This is sequence of returns risk. So our sequence of return is we're just losing 45% of our retirement dollars. Imagine you've got $1 million sitting in your retirement account. Oops, now I've got $550,000 left.
Oh my gosh, I'm going back to work.
Now I'm retired. I've just lost half of my money my first 3 years in retirement. Yes, I'm all of a sudden thinking, do I need to go back to work?
Exactly.
Or here's the other part. In that example, I also said, well, let's say we were taking, 5% of your money, so the $50,000, and let's have that increase with inflation, right? We got that $50,000 doesn't stay the same because that's not going to work. So it has to be able to keep up with those expenses. Now, in Tony Robbins' book, he uses a different example, so I'm going to talk about it. So again, but in that, it shows how much your account would continue to drop.
Right.
Okay, so in the example that I used, it was that after 10 years' time, not only would you have less than half your money left, okay, because you've now, it's not just what you lost up front, even though it went, right back up again before the next bear market hit us, right, is that we had this income coming out of it. And that was reducing it down. So even when the market went up, we had fewer shares, fewer dollars in there, so it didn't recover fully. And then the next thing is we had the effect of inflation on our remaining dollars, the spending power there. So the effect is devastating. And here's his example, which I thought was quite good. And it showed two different investors, if you will, 2 people retiring, both at the age of 65. In one instance, we have both, by the way, with a $500,000 in their account, and they take 5%, $25,000 a year, and they have it increase with inflation. And in the first example, oh, by the way, both earn an average of 8% per year on their money. So you're thinking, wow, if I'm earning 8%, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. If we head into another bear, and what are we into? We're in now the longest bull market in history. We've broke the record this week,
so we're waiting for a bear.
We're due. We've had, if we look at the last 20 years, we go back to 2000, we've had 2 bears, now 2 bulls. Cyclically, we're going to have it. Now, there are those that think we're 2 or 3 years out. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. I always do planning so that whatever happens, I'm going to be protected, right? With my clients, the whole thing is we're going to be able to maintain the income without ever worrying about running out of money. But let's go back to this example. In this situation, he's taken $25,000. It's increasing with inflation. He's averaging 8% on his money, but in the first 3 years, he lost 45%. He used the same example, 2000 through 2002. He loses 45% of his money. That put him behind, and he's taken out money at the same time. What happened is basically by age 83, he's out of money. So in about 17, 18 years, he's run out of money. He was able to pull a total of $581,000 from his $500,000, and now he's broke. All right, we don't want that to happen, do we? And yet he averaged 8%. But because of the sequence of returns, because he lost up front, even though he made more money later, it wasn't enough. Now let's look at the second investor. They got lucky. They retired. We flipped the chart. We say, okay, they retired in a bull market when things were going really well, as they have in these last 10 years, and they didn't hit a bear until late in life. So what happened with them? Same scenario, $500,000. They're taking out $25,000, 5%, $25,000 a year, increasing with inflation. By age 89, they have taken out $900,000. Okay, over $300,000 more than our first investor, taking out $900,000, and guess what? They still got $1,600,000 left out of that 500, averaging that same 8%. But because of sequence of return, it's a difference between having $2.5 million net benefit at age 90 in this situation, or only having a net benefit of $580,000.
But you can't control bear or bull. So how are you supposed to know how to do this?
We don't know what's going to happen.
It's a crystal ball. I mean.
So here's how we do it.
Okay.
We have strategies in place that can, in fact, make sure you don't run out of money. So we know that the 5 years prior to retirement and the 5 years into retirement are the two most critical phases. But even if you're in retirement, you want to have defensive strategies. You want to have an investment portfolio done in such a way. We can do this through laddering. There's a lot of different strategies we can employ. I mentioned fixed index, easy for me to say, right? Fixed index annuities is another area there.
Good job.
These are areas. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the income that you need is always there, and it's increasing with inflation, and that our accounts are growing so that we can be able to do that and never run out of money, and that we can cover the tax burden, whatever that might be. And of course we have tax strategies to minimize that, and the investment strategies minimize risk, and we have stable portfolios, all right, that allow us to do this. And there's a number of strategies we employ in my office to basically, all my clients, it's the same thing. That's always the goal. We're going to make sure that we are able to at least maintain your current standard of living. Typically, we add in fund money. We want to increase it because, right, when you retire, what do we know? Every day's Saturday. Woohoo! We get to have some fun. So you need money to have some of that fun, right? Now, you might say, well, I'll just go fishing on the bank. Well, that's good, but how about we go in a boat and go fishing, right? I mean, there are things, whatever you enjoy doing, whether it's a lot of shoes, just knowing, and travel, also a biggie. Okay, if you want to do those things, having that money factored into your planning is what it's about, and we do that with all my clients. And if you'd like to see how that might work for you, here we go. Be one of the first 10 callers to my office this morning. 615-376-5325. Tessa's standing by. She'll get your information. She'll send you out a checklist of things to bring to your appointment. We'll cover tax planning. We'll cover estate planning. We'll cover investments. Everything is in there for you. The income, show you your financial future based on what you're doing today, not only what it's going to look like for you 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road, but also showing you ways that you can improve that picture to make it even better so that you retire in style, that you're able to enjoy those retirement years and do all the things you want. And here's, so again, first 10 callers, 615-376-5325. Tessa's standing by. She'll get your information, send you out a packet of things to bring to your appointment with me, and we will give you that plan. We will do that for you at no cost. I want you to have something you can really use here.
Well,
and by the way, when you come in to see me, I'll also give you a free copy of my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement. All right.
And now we'll jump in.
And if you, yes, and Friday may be with us too. If you'd like to have Friday come in and talk to you about taxes and stuff, talk to you about, we do tax planning together. Sure. She does the tax prep though. I don't do that part. Not at all.
I mean, so the decisions you make have implications in the tax code. So if someone does a conversion or somebody wants to cash out a bunch of stock or whatever, it's better to know up front how much that tax is really going to do. What's it going to do? Because sometimes we get hit with AMT tax, or we get hit with little surprises that we don't always think about when we talk about 12% and 22%. There are other hidden taxes that can come into play.
It's one of, exactly. This is one of the things. So when we're doing tax planning, and I've talked about Roth conversion strategies and other things that we employ in the office. Well, one of the things that we do there is we'll put that together and we'll say, okay, now, Friday, let's pre-run a tax return for this person. Okay, let's take a look at what the effect is going to be to make sure we're not triggering any hidden taxes, and that it's going to, in fact, do exactly what we expect, and there are not going to be any unpleasant surprises in the process, because that's happened.
Oh yes,
unfortunately.
I mean, and I think that's one of the nice things I like about Hank's business versus some of the other people that do financial. A lot of times, many of them have the element of understanding tax. Hank does a great job of understanding the basic tax, but the problem is sometimes you really just need to have that second opinion. So in my opinion, you know, if this is a free, you know, evaluation of your situation, why not get one and compare it to the one that you have today or the person you're working with? If nothing else, let's be honest, it gives you some more tools to go and say, hey, Joe, my financial guy, am I going to make it through retirement? Are we going to be, what projections can you give me that show that we're on track and all this? Because many times people people just have this little folder they've never read, have no understanding really. They're just trusting their financial person has got them on track. And they've got pie charts and stuff, but if you don't understand it and you're not sure you should ask questions, because I think anyone that doesn't ask the questions can sound stupid, but there's no stupid questions. You know what I'm saying? There really isn't in either of our businesses, but I think it's important that people get that second opinion and really just understand their finances, because
you get decisions to make. Maybe you're selling something. Maybe you're selling some stocks. Maybe some real estate. There's capital gains issues. You
Inherited
want to see,
tax. I mean, a lot of times people inherit things.
Yeah, it's ideally is finding out in advance if you can, if there's some things that can be done, or if nothing else, to plan for that. So if you've got a tax bill that's going to come as a result of this sale, it may not stop anything. It may be something you still need to do, but making sure you're setting aside enough money to cover the taxes, and then when you're moving forward, that's incorporated in. By the way, one of the things here, if you'd like, Friday's got some seminars coming up, and I'd like you to be able to take advantage of that. So we've got, I think, some on the screen here that we can show you. So tax reform seminar, there you are. Topics going to include tax strategies for individual and business owners, investment planning. So I might even show up and sneak in there and help out a little bit. Tax planning for business, planning for the future. And let's talk about the dates those are going to be and where they're at. Here we go.
I can't read it.
I cannot read that. I hope you can at home.
I will let you know that it's in Hendersonville. So we have one in Sumter, one in Murray County, one in Williamson, and one in Rutherford. So if you're in Murfreesboro, if you're in Spring Hill, if you're in Brentwood, or if you're in Hendersonville, there is a location for you at each one of those. And you can go right to the website, drfriday.com, click on live seminars, and you can book your seat through there. And all the money that we are taking in through this is through our foundation, a nonprofit, a legitimate nonprofit that you can find. And what we use that money for is to help people that are in the military, or people that just don't have enough money to use our services. We pro bono the work to them and help them get out of IRS issues. So it's a way of us giving back to the community.
Excellent. And so if you want to be, by the way, you can call my office, you can call Friday's office to get more information and schedule.
And if you don't do computers, you can call us and we'll walk you through it.
So, all right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get those numbers up for you so you can see where to call, and we'll talk a little bit more about the seminars and some of the things you may be able to learn there. All right, but first a break. Join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report. Are you at risk for